Hey everybody, this is Ray Gootz. Welcome back to Gootzcast Nightly. Today is April 9th, 2020, and I'm here with Nick Alexander. Nick, he's my old friend, does stand-up. Nick, how you feeling?
I'm feeling good, man. All things considering, it's just good to see, another friend of mine we just making it happen. I'm happy to just be here, man. I love the Zoom connection. And Zoom has been a lifesaver.
Zoom is really, once I discovered Zoom, I was like, I'm going to do a podcast 5 nights a week during this, because why not? Why not keep updated on as this shit either gets better or gets worse. Let's follow it every night,
But yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, so how you doing? How you holding up in the quarantine?
Man, okay, so I'm doing pretty good. I think having a girlfriend in quarantine, I couldn't imagine if I was dealing with this stuff solo out here, like real talk. So yeah, having my girl with me has been very, very good because I'm not able to travel to New York and see most of my family, or everybody is pretty much back east. So I'm grateful. We're stocked up. We managed. We got food. We can still kind of work from home. She's able to work from home with her gig, and I had like a little part-time situation, so I'm able to get some money coming in to manage. So I'm grateful.
Oh, okay, cool. All right, so that's good. You still have a little bit of money coming in. That's always good.
Little something, man. We make it do.
My eBay has been popping off. People, I guess, are just buying shit off eBay. They're buying like my wrestling figures and stuff. So,
How much wrestlers you got, right? Like how much?
I have a lot back in the mid 2000s. But I've been selling them since 2015.
Yeah.
So
Wow. Okay.
that's how I
You a
kind of
hustler.
like. Yeah, when I quit Caroline's back in 2015, I said I started selling all my. I said I'm gonna sell my comic books. Nobody buys comic books. People buy toys. I wish I had bought more toys when I was younger, because that's the shit people will pay real money for.
Oh yeah. If I had some Batmobiles and some Power Rangers stacked up, for sure. Avengers
Yeah.
toys. Yeah.
So let's give a little background. You're over in LA, right? What part
Yeah.
of where you living in?
I live in smack dab Hollywood, so I'm in Hollywood. I'm near all the clubs, all the venues that do comedy. I'm pretty much in the thick of it. So I've been in LA. I'll be 4 years in August. Since I moved from New York.
Mm-hmm. And how is it over there right now?
LA, it's like weird. So when it's been raining the past couple of days, so it kind of feel like Seattle a little bit.
Yeah.
People are still kind of going out, even though they shut down restaurants, bars. The first week of the quarantine, it was all suggestion based on what the mayor issued out. But people were still going to the beach. Were still hiking a lot. They were still doing the trails and riding bikes. So then they said, don't go out. Like, you can't do that stuff anymore. And I think you still see people driving out and about. And when I go for walks, I run into people. But I think the walks are more so for like mental health and whatnot. But when people are still driving around doing stuff. So I think it's like they're going to their friends to meet up with or family. So even if they're kind of like isolating, they're still out and about doing stuff.
Are there a lot of cases over there, or is it like not really that bad?
We're spiking. We're top 5 in the country.
Oh, you are? Because I never really hear. Because all I hear about, is New York is the death zone, and New York is.
Yeah. No. Cali is better. If we talking states for sure, and then we talking cities, it's like LA is like in the top 5.
Okay. Do you know any friends? Because I have a lot of friends who've lost family members. Do you know anyone who has lost family members out there?
Yeah, it's either like one removed from my family. You know what I'm saying? And I have some people I know who tested positive back in New York.
Yeah, no, I know. So yeah, I know a lot of people in New York that have it, obviously, because we're from here. My whole family's out in California, and right now they seem to be doing good. No one seems to be sick. So, but I got a big ass family, so I'm just hoping that stays like that. So I'm considering myself very lucky. So
that's the Mexican side, right?
Yeah, there's the Mexican side. I don't know where the white side went. I don't know. I think they might all be dead of COVID. I don't know. I couldn't find them.
Right. I'm sure they just sticking together and just they do what they need to do to just
they
have fun and get through it is the best thing.
Around 98, they vanished. I don't know where the fuck they went, so it's okay. I don't know where I couldn't tell you where they are. There's some in Florida.
Yeah, it's so crazy because a lot of my girls' families out here, but we're not even like risking it. We're kind of just like, we gotta respect what the quarantine is, and we really gotta isolate. So for each other is like, every day.
Yeah, I do. I did a Zoom thing with my family, and we're gonna do it again on Easter Sunday, where we just all talk in the Zoom conference room. So
Yeah, I
that'd be
love
cool.
it. Yeah, I've been doing that too. It's great.
Yeah, it's
That's
cool.
great.
Zoom bringing everybody together. Nick, when was your last set?
Yo, my last set was sometime in March. Like I did a room with comedian Shane, Shangri. So
Okay, yeah, I know
Shang
him.
is definitely one of the big homies in LA. Since I've been first visiting LA, he's always looked out for me. So we did a gig together. We did this like black room in what is it? In San Bernardino. Where we
Okay.
did like this restaurant. It's like a classic like restaurant gig. Like I hadn't done one of those in a minute, because usually in LA it's like bar shows or you're doing club spots. So we did like a room, and it was like fun. It just gave me those New York feels of just doing like a restaurant, and they put you like in the middle of the floor. It's like an Indian restaurant, so there was all these like tables and whatnot. It was it was a great gig. I did like 15, 20 minutes. I got the stretch. So at least I know my last show I was on a good note. I was in my
Okay.
bag.
That's good.
How
That's
about
good.
you?
Governors, the 2 days before everything shut down, it was the Thursday, and they shut everything down on a Monday. I did 2 shows there, and at the time I said to the owner, "Are you gonna, Governor's out in Long Island?" I go, "Are you gonna close?" "I'll never close. I'm gonna keep having shows." And then,
Yeah,
everything
they
shut
said
down.
nope.
Nope, that ain't happening.
Nobody's immune.
No more.
Is there any comedy clubs that's still open?
No, I mean, I don't.
I just
I
read them.
checked because
Yeah.
there's not a lot of cases in Montana. So I said, I
Uh-huh.
wonder if they got a comedy show popping off. This is like 2 Fridays ago in Montana. And I
Mm-hmm.
found a comedy club, and I went there, and the website was like, due to COVID, we're not having any shows.
Okay. I heard in
So,
Milwaukee that I read it. Maybe it's not true. I read it on Twitter, but they're saying there's still spots in Milwaukee that's like staying open.
well, for comedy?
No, I just like bars, restaurants. But I mean, that's all
Oh,
you need
yeah.
for.
I think you can probably, in Montana or North Dakota, because I remember those numbers were real low. Plus, you can be very distant out there. I
Yeah,
think you
yeah.
can probably go pop off at a restaurant over there, but I don't think that you can do comedy over there.
Okay, got you.
Yeah, I don't think John Mulaney can go headline the theater at
Right.
fucking.
Louis not going there to just work on the
I mean,
morale.
Louis might go there. I don't know. Hey, let me ask you a question. Did you watch his new special?
Nah, I was like, kind of like, nah, I'm not gonna go pay for it, but I think I might just like see if somebody can send it to me and I watch it just to kind of get gauge from. I read some articles about it and I kind of I want to just see what he's talking about. I mean, you knew people had expectations about was he gonna cover all the accusation stuff and harassment stuff, and they said he kind of started around it. I just want to see for myself. I'm
Yeah, I
pretty sure.
watched.
Like, go ahead, tell me what you think.
I watched it. It was good, but it was like shit. Like I already know. Like I already know you're good at this. Like
Right.
it's hard to explain. Like if Chappelle could coast on his greatest hits or like the same bullshit topics for the rest of his
Yeah,
life if he wanted to. He could give 60% and it's still amazing. I'm talking about
for
like
sure.
Chappelle or Chris Rock. They could give 50. Chris Rock at 50% is going to have you on the floor than 90% of most comedians. And I feel like that's what Louis C.K. He's taking the easy way out. And I'm like, you know what,
Mm,
dude? Like, I want to hear a whole hour about what happened. That's what I want to hear an hour about. And I want you
yeah,
because I think if you do that, you can get everybody back.
he did,
Uh,
but he didn't.
he did it, and he talked about it a little bit, and then the punchline was, you know how awkward it is for everyone to know my sexual thing. Like Obama knows my thing, and the whole audience laughs. Like, and he imitates Obama looking at his phone, like that guy likes to do what? And I'm like,
Right.
that's not really introspective. That's you bragging that Obama knows who you are.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know?
So okay. So he danced. I mean, I think what it's gonna look like because this was whenever he was gonna do the special post all this shit was gonna be like, what is your answer to everything? And
Mm-hmm.
in my opinion, I feel like the route he chose is like he knows he can still tour. He'll be able to work the rest of his life. That didn't go down. He was drawing all over the world, right? He was doing shows overseas still. I think he did
Yeah,
tape that overseas, right? Or did he tape it in the States?
taped it in D.C.
Okay, so all right, DC. So he's still gonna draw a big crowd wherever he goes. Um, and he'll just try to really keep performing and hopefully throughout like maybe another 2 specials, people just kind of forget about it and just he'll just focus on just trying to be really good or great or whatever. So I think that's kind of what he's trying to do. And I felt like if you as ballsy as everybody else, kind of felt like you used to kind of give it to him, try to just do really go guns out hard to try and just address that and really see how you can really come out of that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think you can come out of it good. And I think what he's saying is, all right, I have my people that believe in me. I'm just going to talk to them. The rest of you, I don't need you because I still have enough people that are going to spend money to see me.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, that people bought that special, and he's gonna keep touring, so he's gonna make his millions or whatever. I don't know if he'll do like another sitcom or be doing movies or anything like that.
No, I think he'll become a touring comic. That's
you don't think he'll ever get a project to work on again? Or out of all his guys that he has these relationships with,
no, I'll tell you why. Because I think he's like determined. I'm just going to appeal to my fan base and make my living on the low like this. If he did address what happened, if he went out of his way to address it and talk about it, I think yes,
that would have been.
Yeah, but I think he's like, all right, comics have my back. The Governors has my back. Cellar has my back. Other clubs around the world have my back. I have people that'll come out and pay to see me. I'm just gonna appeal to those people. I lost the other people, and I don't think he's looking to win everybody back. I mean, you have such a reputation that I would try to get everybody back. I would try to.
That's my thing, because he's such a great writer. Like, I can't, even if I don't feel like I'm not into supporting him anymore, or I'm not fucking with somebody who did the kind of stuff he was doing. You can't deny how much of an incredible comic he is. I mean, he's definitely one of the best comics that's ever lived. He's been one of the dopest comics for at least the past 10 years with the body of work, and he's a great writer. Like, that was always the thing about him, because his point of view, what the stuff angles he can find are not like everybody else's. So I felt like he could have maybe tried to do that, tackle that on. It would have been ballsy, but sure.
Yeah, it would have been beyond ballsy, but I think then he would have got everybody. I think he's good enough to pull it off. Like, you are the guy who could pull it off. Like, I'm not trying to disrespect anybody, but Arnez J couldn't pull it off. You know what I'm saying? He just go out and do more impressions.
Arnez J. He would have just been doing his uncle character with the just the physical. Yeah, he would.
Yeah, Arnez J couldn't pull if he got global
he was
news.
Jerking off in front of girls and had 5 comics coming out to saying that shit.
Yeah, and like the New York Times did a story about it. Like, I don't think he'd probably still do stand up, but he wouldn't like. Yeah. But I think Louis C.K. like, you're so good, you could recover from this. You could become bigger than ever. And I think a lot of people.
He's older too. You might not have the energy to want to kind of put that kind of work into the set. He's 50 plus. He got them kids. He got them girls. He got to kind of like.
Yeah, it's kind of what I got in the special. It's like people who like me, and it is what it is. But
maybe 10 years ago, sometimes it's like, where are you at in your life? And I think being middle, you're 50 something. It's like, do I really want to go through the battle? Do I want to fight the team? I don't. It is what it is.
I think like it's a good special, but I think with this special, he gives up the throne. He's like, you know what? I'm content being. You know what I said? I said on Facebook, it's like if Michael Jordan left the Bulls to play for the Harlem Globetrotters. All right, I know you're gonna win, and I know you're gonna do some dope ass shit, but I want you to, like instead of coming back to the Bulls when he retired, and when he won more championships. He just went to the Harlem Globetrotters. Like, I know you're gonna win. I know you're gonna do some crazy moves. So why aren't you challenging yourself? I know you're the best.
It's funny that Jordan thing, because I remember when I was like 10 and 11ish, when he did the last comeback with the Wizards, when he was like 39 and 40, right?
Yeah.
And it was kind of like everybody's like, he's not the same Jordan that we kind of saw, because by then he was he slowed down. He was a different kind of player. But in the 2 seasons, if you look at it in context, about the guy's 40. In most NBA players' careers, there's nobody who's ever really a good player at 40. Like, you're either done or you're not in the league anymore, right?
Yeah.
He was averaging 20 points a game those 2 seasons with the Wizards and an All-Star both years. And it wasn't like a pity All-Star game like they gave it to some guys when their career's over. He was legitimately still like one of the best players in the league. Like, and his team, the Wizards weren't good, but he was carrying them as a 40-year-old guy, putting up 20 a game, which is like. That's even like, you got to respect the greatness in that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But he didn't go to the Globetrotters, like you said, just to kind of avoid the gambling shit.
But yeah, that's like Louis C.K. Like, if this special was anyone else, this special was a new Jack or someone who hasn't really popped off the national scene, I'd be like, oh my God, the special is incredible. Yeah. This dude's the next big thing. But with Louis, it's like, yo, I heard you've done. I've heard this shit from you before.
Yeah. You watched him a lot, right? Through the years.
Yo, dude, one night. when they were filming the Louis show one
Mm.
Saturday night, I had to sit in the booth to help the sound guys. I had the headphones on, like with the Louis crew, with the crew, and he directed the crew. Like there was like
Wow.
that dude was in charge of that show. But I had to
Wow.
sit in the booth. I couldn't leave the booth, and I had to watch 3 of his sets. And the first set, great. Second set, all right. Third set, no matter how great a comedian is, you got to sit through 3 of their sets, and I had to hit a button at a crucial time.
Different
You're ready
crowds?
you're ready to throw yourself out of a window, even no matter how good a comedian is. What?
Different crowds?
Different crowds, but the set was the same. It was 3 different
Oh,
crowds.
so he doesn't strip and move around like some comics do. He's not like a Sinbad where you're gonna see a different set every.
No, it was he had to do the same sets because he was hitting the marks. Like he was rewatching the footage.
Oh, okay, got you.
But I had to sit in the booth, and by the end of I remember that night I was like, how long is this night?
Do you think you could have dealt with it better if it was Arnaz J doing 3 sets?
Yeah, no, I wish. Oh man, Arnaz J. I'm about to do. Is he still going? I haven't seen.
Hey, he still tours.
Dude, you want to hear a weird story? Weird story about him. So he used to sell his merch in the lounge.
He does. He's a headline Carolines, right?
Oh yeah, all the time. And then he just mysteriously stopped. And I don't know. Yeah, but people would be like, "Can I take a photo with you?" I don't take photos. I don't shake hands. But I'll sign your stuff. And they're like, "Well, why don't you take photos?" This woman, like, she did some weird stuff with my photos. I had a lawsuit. And I don't take photos. I don't shake hands. And people leaving like, what the fuck is he talking about? So I don't know what he's talking about. Like some woman did a weird thing with his photos. Like how could you do a weird thing with a photo at a comedy club? I don't know. So he wouldn't take photos.
Got caught out and he just kind of got paranoid.
Yeah, I don't know what he did.
Maybe that's why Caroline stopped booking him. They're like, you're not gonna shake your fans' hands?
I think they stopped booking him because they have this theory that once you hit 40, you're not funny. But anyway,
hilarious.
Unless you're drawing a ton of people, but that's
right. Okay.
Whole other argument. Nick, what do you think? Like, what do you see? How long do you see this going? This COVID shutdown.
I mean, they're saying that the COVID is gonna come back again. It's gonna gonna hit this curve. We'll be able to go out for a time period, and then it's gonna come back again, and possibly like even harder. So my thing is like, well, we can't stay shut down for 8 straight months, I guess, right? How are people gonna pay rent if they can't work? Well, some people can't. So I think personally, maybe July, August, things open up, businesses be opening back up for stuff. But then it's like, how long is that gonna really be on the table if we're gonna have to go back into the quarantine again when they come back? They don't, because they're saying it's probably gonna take a year to get a vaccine going.
Well, the thing that scares me is there's still people who aren't taking this seriously, and to me, what's scary about that is that this is not a thing that anyone's hiding. Like I'm friends with nurses, I'm friends with EMTs, and they're very open. They're on Facebook posting shit that's going down, and people are still saying that this isn't a big deal or it's overblown. Or that to me is scary because
that's frightening, bro.
Yeah, to me that means like people aren't going to take this seriously, and it's going to get worse. Here's my 2 things. I'll tell you 2 things. Number 1, I don't know if you noticed, but they're moving every movie from the summer. There ain't no movies coming out this summer.
Yeah, there ain't no summer blockbusters.
The first one is Wonder Woman, like in August, and I don't think we're even going to see that. I think that's going to get moved to Thanksgiving. I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah. That's the one.
Will we have movie theaters? AMC's supposed to be shutting down.
AMC shutting down. Look, I got a sound bar and a 4K TV. I don't need a movie theater. I'll put Black Widow on Disney Plus tonight. I'll be straight. So they're not putting out any movies until the fall. Which they canceled Wimbledon. They canceled Edinburgh. They canceled Just for Laughs. They canceled the Netflix festival, which Nico White got mad at me when I suggested that might happen, but it did happen.
But he got mad? Why did he? I just talked to him yesterday. Why he got mad?
I said to him, hey, I think they might cancel it because they were staying at the Cellar. This is like a week before everything shut down. And I saw him at the Strip. And he got, why would you tell me that? Why would you say that? And I'm like,
hey, man.
I'm just, but I always like, to give him stuff. If I know something, I always used to tell him.
You look out for Nico.
He probably didn't want to hear that because I don't think a lot of us didn't know how bad this was going to get. For sure. And, he had a special at that thing. Yeah. But my whole point. But my whole point is what I think the higher ups know more than we know, and I think the higher ups know this shit's not going away until September, which is why they're just canceling the summer. My other thing is, I heard from someone that agencies are not booking comedians for any theater shows in 2020.
Mhm.
No theater shows. If you want to book like someone like Kevin Hart or Amy Schumer, you can only book them for 2021 because they don't want to do all the work and redo it. But that also, again, a lot of these people on up, on top, on charge of these agencies, they're in the know.
They're in the know.
So that leads me to think that if they're like mysteriously, oh, we're just gonna move this here, we're gonna move that there, we're gonna move this here, and comedians like, yo, I can't wait to go on stage in May. I ain't going on stage in May.
Ain't going on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you read that article Roy Jr. posted?
Which one?
Roy
Yes,
Jr.
yes, yeah.
He was so insightful with just like how look whenever this shit comes back into normal, the clubs are gonna be trying to make their money back. So A-list guys who maybe do theaters, 2,000 seaters, 3,000 seaters, they might go scale down and do comedy clubs. And they're gonna hit improvs and funny bones are gonna give them priority and probably give them their openers or whoever because they want to appease those upper client guys who don't do their clubs anymore. So there's gonna be a lot of people without, right?
Yeah.
So it's the road scene is gonna be so different. You have any other points to make before I kind of just have a tidbit that I want to kind of pitch to you? But do you have anything else on comedy you want to?
I will say like what he said about the top guys. I agree with that because especially if they're canceling theater shows, if fucking Amy Schumer can't work out a theater show, but you know what? Where she can work? She can work at Gotham. She can work at Caroline's. But here's the other thing I want to point out. They're not going to be able to shove these rooms filled with people. So, you book an Amy Schumer, that's an easy 350, 400 at a room like Gotham or Caroline's or Governor's. I don't think New York State's going to allow them to have that many people. So,
yeah, you're right.
You might be only able to get 100 people in for an Amy Schumer. So that's going to mean either Amy Schumer's going to take a price cut to go do Governor's because they can't afford to pay her for, they're paying her on the basis of
1%.
Yeah, they're paying her on the basis we're going to get 30 people in the room. They could try to fuck around and do that, but if someone puts a picture on Twitter, I think now if you break building codes, if you stuff people in a building, I think the city, especially here, I'm not going to speak for LA, but I think New York City is going to come in and be like, hey, what's up? Why is a lot of people for Amy Schumer? Yeah, you're closed. Get everybody the fuck out, and you got to be in court on Monday, motherfucker. Like, you know what I mean? Like, they're not going to put up with that shit.
Okay.
So that's my thing. It's like, to Roy Wood's junior point, Louis C.K. hits up like fucking Governors, hey, I want to come do your show for this X amount. I can't pay you this amount because I can only get this many people, and I can pay you for that amount. And Louis C.K. is going to either have to take the pay cut, which I think he will, because he wants to work out his shit, or he's going to have to be like, well, I can't do it. And then they're like, all right, cool, because Nick Alexander can do it for that. Even if he doesn't get everybody in, I can only fit 100 people in my room anyway, so.
Right. So then they will reach out to the BC comics, lower tiers, to just.
But I think the A-listers will take the pay cut just to get on stage, just to film something
for the
so
time
they can
being.
put it on Netflix. Yeah.
Right.
All right.
Okay.
Your point.
All right. So check this out, right? And I was really doing some thinking when I was just kind of reflecting, right? Mm-hmm. So for the first time, and I think in forever, right? When comedy comes back, there's such a huge reset, right? It's pretty much fair game open season. You know what I mean? It should comics, not the A-listers, but should the comics like me, you, the headliners who work the clubs with the credits, whatever, and whether it's road, whether it's New York, LA, the local scene, whatever, right? Should comics hold out for more pay spots?
That's gonna be tough, because there's always gonna be. Well, I don't know. See, there's always gonna be some new jack, but who the fuck? I don't think new people are going to get into comedy for a while now because I think people are going to be afraid to go inside those buildings. Newer people.
Right.
I think what we should do is stop working with clubs and bookers and management that treat us like shit or take advantage of us. Like the ones who everybody takes advantage of us, but I think the real motherfuckers we should stop fucking with. I think the same thing at bars and restaurants. If there's a restaurant manager who treats all their staff like shit, why go back to work at that restaurant? Because
they need us now. They need us now.
Yeah, like it's.
We've never had this much leverage before.
We never had.
Of course, time sucks, but think about it. Like, if we literally like they can't get those A-list guys on the headlining tip. We talking about the road, right?
Yeah.
And you are trying to meet guys like in the 5-year, 7-year, 10-year, 12-year, 14, whatever. We're saying, there's got to be more for a feature. Like, because I know comics who told me that at one point, yes, you could make a living as a feature. You know,
could,
if you're doing, but the money never improved. The rate of a feature never got past $100+ or 125, and most features make $500 to $600 at the end of the weekend.
Mm-hmm.
It stayed that way while the economy and everything and life expenses increased. And then the feature was not something that was sustainable to do and make a living at. You guys have to work a second job. You know, they book local hosts because they don't want to spend money bringing in other people or whatever like that. And they're, you know, they might not be as good or whatever, or they could be good. But on a terms of a road feature, features should hold out to get more. In the local spots, you know, we should be able to say, you know what, instead of $25 a spot, I want $50. Instead of $75 to host, 100 or 150.
Yeah.
And that can and think about LA clubs don't pay shit. So they really need comics to go do these clubs when everything opens back up. If we really held our ground and found some kind of union this go around to make it work, it would have to buzz because they're shut down now. If nobody's going there to perform, what are you going to do?
Yeah, and if you do say, all right, fuck all you B-list, C-list guys, we're going to go with the scrubs, right, the open micers, people are going to, so they're going to venture out, and they're going to be like, oh my God, I'm going to go to this club and see great comedians, and then they see nothing but open micers, they're going to be like, you know what, I kind of feel skeeved out going out, I realized like I really didn't miss this kind of sucked, why am I going to come back? So there is a very little window, but if some fucking good comedians don't follow through, and they're like, you know, at these clubs doing spots and people enjoy it, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, like it's got to be everyone who is remotely talented sticks together.
How would we unify that? How would we get us unified? Like, what would be the route we could take if we were really trying to stick it to the comedy mans like that?
Well, I mean, I don't know. It's so hard because
Ted Alexander, I heard, had a really good union. He had a good amount of union built up. It was pretty serious at one point. He was trying to get, you know, paying all that stuff in union and health insurance.
He was. I went to one of his meetings by accident. It was a clandestine meeting, an open mic. I went to the open mic and they said, this actually is not an open mic tonight. It's a meeting about this. But they didn't even tell people, because this is back before like Facebook and Twitter were a thing. They didn't even tell people this was a meeting and you just showed up meeting. But at the meeting, some new guy raised his hand. He goes, you know, I'm just trying to get spots. I'm not getting any spots anywhere. He goes like, what's to stop me if you guys say fuck you to the seller, fuck you to Caroline's, and they want to book me? Why should I not take that? I'm trying to become better. And Alexander goes, I can't stop you from taking it, but you shouldn't, because long term I'm trying to put more money in your pocket. And the guy's like, well, I don't need more money in my pocket. I have a regular job. I just need to get better at this, and I need to be seen. Yeah. And he goes, well, that's up to you, but you really I can't. When I can't really do fight you, but I can't. And I never saw a guy again. He probably died, but they probably took him out the back, shot him in the head. But no, here's the thing. That's a
good right. This is the chance. This is the one chance.
I've said this to comedians, like, you know, like, hey, this is a chance for things to change. Like, we don't have to go by the old rules. And a lot of them seem very scared out, at least here in New York. And I'm like, you know, if a club shuts down, well, I don't want any clubs shut down. And I'm like, but at the same time, if they're not putting any money in your pocket, it sucks. I don't want people to be out of work, but what is that going to affect you, so to speak? Like, what do you think's going to happen if let's just say every club in LA, New York shuts down? Do you think that's the end of stand-up? Do you think, like, that's it, no more stand-up? Like, we're not going to be – no. New places are going to come up. There's going to be new people who are like, I have money. I want to invest in a business. Caroline's is closed. Gotham is closed. Stan's closed. Improv, whatever. I want to invest in building a new business. Let me meet with some comedians. Let me meet with someone who knows the business, like a you
would know how to do it if somebody approached you with money.
With me, yes, or even somebody like a Gina Savage.
She ran a club.
Or Joe Harari from The Stand, or even Charo before he died at Dangerfield. Sorry, rest in peace.
Yeah.
But or Bob DeBono or something like that. Like if somebody with money, like it's gonna come back. It's not just gonna be like it's the end of stand-up. So if you do stand up to these guys, it's like we're not gonna help you, and we need this amount. They kind of have to budge at the start, or that's that. But I don't know if everybody has the balls to do that.
I mean, I don't know. I don't think everybody has the balls to do it, and I just don't. The flaw in my plan is like, how do I get this to the talented comics? Like, there's so many not talented comics too, and it's like, well, I don't give a fuck. you just done 6 months of stand-up. I'm not trying. This is not really for you. I don't even know how
Yeah.
serious you're going to be about it. But like the weeding process is the hardest part. Weeding out who can really help you grow this thing and
Yeah.
put that union strike or whatever together. But I
mean,
said to myself, like, damn, if we really unified, this would be the right time. Because think about it, if we doubled pay on any kind of spot or slot rate or whatever on the show, comics could probably relatively make it somewhat of a living, especially in the New York scene.
Yeah.
LA comics would be happier with more pay and whatever in the spots.
With some nachos.
But the road shit would be the real big come up.
Yeah.
Comeuppance, which is for features to be able to make a living. You know what I mean?
A lot of things with a lot of these clubs, I don't know how it is in LA, but every club here in New York City is a GoFundMe for their staff, basically crying
Oh,
poverty.
they did in LA Laugh Factory too. I think.
Oh, they're doing it. So here's my thing with that. It's like if you're admitting that, like, so you have a business plan where 90% of the time the star attraction, your business plan is not getting paid. All right, on a Tuesday night at LOL, how many people are getting paid? You know what I'm saying? So your business plan is our star attraction is not getting paid, but we still don't have enough money to pay our staff for the next few weeks. We still are in danger of shutting down the minute this went down. So that leads me to think that a lot of comedy clubs don't have a sound business plan, because the business plan is we're going to take advantage of 50% of the workforce. And so, like, if you go to them, I need more money, they might just be like, I can't give you more money. I just have to shut down. But at the same time, all right, well, then someone else will come up and they might have the money because they'll know that we all stood up for ourselves. It's an interesting time. I don't think a lot of artists realize how powerful you are right now, because no one can control you at this moment. Nobody, like this fucking Asian manager, they got about the same power you do, man. Like they're stuck in their house. They can't do shit.
Absolutely.
They can't book you on SNL. There is no SNL.
Oh, I saw Colin Joss post a picture in his computer. He's like, somehow something's gonna come together. So I think they're gonna try to do
Yeah, they're gonna do remote. They're gonna do like a remote SNL from like their houses and stuff, which is cool. I get it, but like, but at the same, what I'm saying is
the way we appreciate it.
No, I think it's cool, and I feel bad for but what I'm saying is, like, who's gonna audition for if SNL is still from everybody's house? Like, what me and you gonna audition? You're hired. You can do a sketch with your dog. Hi, everybody, live from New York, Saturday Night Live. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like.
Facts.
We have power, and I don't think a lot of people realize that. I think a lot of people are just like, well, it's gonna go back to normal, and I'm gonna have to kiss the same butt and say hi the right thing.
And it doesn't have to be that way.
It doesn't have to be like that.
Get some spine, y'all. You gotta get some balls this go around.
Also, a lot of them and us might die before this all said and done. So you don't have to kiss nobody's ass when they're dead.
That too, for sure. Yeah. I just think about that at least once a day. I'm just like, man, like I'd be wanting to just like do a video, or we be recording this, so maybe we'll put this out. But
I'm putting this out. Yeah.
Like this conversation I've been wanting to have, like on my Facebook timeline or whatever, and just to see what people thought.
It's hard to have these conversations because people are afraid that things are just going to go back to the way they were, and it's not. I mean, even if every club, I'll just put it like this: every club, let's say we got this before, you got paid no matter what. Every comedian got paid for every spot, no matter what. The pay was really great. No matter what, every club was fair and not weird. And the bookers were cool and were communicative. Yeah. Even though all that happened, because of how bad this disease is and how the way the country's reacting, how the way our government's reacting, it was good. It's going to be a different world regardless. It's not like things were perfect and they're going to go back to being perfect. No matter what,
it's never going to be the same.
No, it's not going to be the same. No matter whether you're happy with the situation in comedy or you're not. You don't have the same life. As of right now, your life is different. Yes. I don't think people get that.
No, they don't. Or appreciate that. Like
that. I appreciate it. Here's what I appreciate: the fact that whether you're in LA or let's go. Okay, LA is a little bit different because it was it was like a Mexican. I don't know what the fuck it was in the 1700s, but New York City since like the 1600s, 1700s, the bar scene has been nonstop. I mean, there was Revolutionary Wars. There were fucking Civil Wars. There were World War I, II, III, IV, V, VI, VII, Star Wars, Console Wars, Secret Wars, Infinity Wars, whatever you want to say. And the bars and the restaurants, the clubs stayed open. Like, people had their hierarchy, and that's, like, oh, you can't fuck with this guy. He controls that club. And that guy controls
but live entertainment's always been around.
Yeah, and you had certain assets you have to kiss, and nothing. You had to wait till he died or until he left. And now the board's cleared. Everyone's gone.
Yeah.
We can rebuild the nightclub, the bar, the New York scene from the ground up. Same thing with LA. LA's been the same since like I don't know. When did Mexico lose it? 1942? I don't know. What I'm
Yeah.
saying is,
Yeah. Under 100 years, probably still.
yeah. Hollywood is everything's different. You don't have to kiss
Mm-hmm.
that ass, and I don't think people get that. And it's the same thing with the bars. There's a bar who's underpaying people and stuff. Just be like, yo, we're not gonna go back to work for you. Sorry, no one's gonna go work for you.
That's it. What they gonna
Yeah.
do? Yeah, man. That's just. I probably will. I feel like we're gonna be in here too long. Still got some time to go in this quarantine, so I feel like at some point I'm probably gonna just keep vocalizing that and just trying to get that out there.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I'm probably gonna be like the Martin Luther King for comedy. You know?
There you go. Well, I mean, you got to do it. You can. I mean, they can't shoot you because you'll be quarantined in your house. So
I'm quarantined.
If Martin Luther King was quarantined in his house, he gave that speech, then they couldn't have shot him because
They wouldn't have got him in the hotel. Nah.
they got. No, he was on the hotel balcony, right?
Right. Yeah, he was. I think he was on the phone.
And in the '60s, they always shot you in public. Now they shoot. Now in the '90s, they went to shoot you in your car. So
Yeah.
they shot
That's how times
JFK,
change.
MLK. Malcolm X was shot in public too, right?
Yeah, he was doing a speech.
Damn, the fucking CIA did not fuck around back then.
They had guys in the audience, and then they did it like a fake stir up, and they shot him.
The audio just cut out. I think the CIA's like, holy shit, they're on to us with Malcolm X.
I know we talked a couple of days ago. I said I watched Infinity War and Endgame. What else have you been watching? DC, Marvel, and whatnot.
Well, right now, I'm finishing a Star Wars rewatch. I watched everything. I did this with Marvel like 2 years ago after Infinity War, and I did this last.
I don't know how you do it.
I do one episode a day. That's how you do it. Believe me, especially when it got to like some episodes of Luke Cage and Iron Fist and Jessica Jones. If I tried to watch 5 or 6 episodes in one day, I'd been like, I'm out. I can't do this. But if you watch one episode a day, it's like a little treat. But I'll tell you what, man, I'm almost the end of Star Wars, and I'm at the Star Wars Resistance, which is the newest cartoon. Have you seen that?
I've never seen anything that's not the movie, so I don't have any knowledge of what the other stuff is.
Clone Wars and Rebels is straight fire. That's
big time animated shows, right?
Yeah, the anime shows. Those shows are incredible.
Okay.
Resistance is the biggest piece of shit I ever fucking saw. I don't know how they thought this was a good show for Star Wars. It is a fucking abomination. It is like Blue's Clues for Star Wars, but it's in continuity. Poe Dameron shows up. Kylo Ren shows up. So I'm watching it. It's not good.
Not good. But it's new on Disney Plus?
Mm-hmm. If you want to like torture yourself, you should watch it. Yeah.
I didn't see The Mandalorian. That was like the thing at the top of the year.
You didn't see it yet?
No, not yet. I have Disney Plus. I just haven't got around to it.
It's all right. It reminded me a lot of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. with the Star Wars edition.
Okay. So I'm confused, though. So, like, with Clone Wars timeline and Mandalorian, what are those timelines and what's the connection in those things?
So Clone Wars takes place between Attack of the Clones and Revenge of the Sith.
Okay.
Rebels
so that's technically the beginning of it all, right?
That's the whole Clone War, because the Clone Wars begins in Attack of the Clones and it ends in Revenge of the Sith, and the series is basically the entire 5-year Clone Wars. You know, it's like what and actually, you watch the show, you like Anakin a lot more.
Really? Okay.
They develop him as a real ass dude.
So he's a character in there. All those characters, Obi-Wan's, they're in there.
Obi-Wan, Emperor Palpatine.
Oh wow! Okay.
Yeah, it's really good. And then the next cartoon series is Rebels. That takes place between Revenge of the Sith and Rogue One. Also Solo. It's Revenge of the Sith, Solo, then Rebels, then Rogue One. And that's about the
Solo too.
Yeah. Oh, you didn't see that?
I didn't. I was so the second Star Wars they did of the trilogy, the new one trilogy. I didn't like it, so I didn't want to even go see Solo.
I tried to rewatch it. It was like. But Rebels is good.
Rebels is good. Okay.
Rebels is good, and then you get to the Star Wars movies, and after Return of the Jedi is Mandalorian.
After Return of the Jedi, so that's after Luke beats Vader and finds out that's his father and save the galaxy.
Then we get Mandalorian. Then after Mandalorian is Resistance. So Resistance takes place during the last 3 movies, which is Force Awakens. Last Jedi, and whatever the fuck the one with December. So
Okay.
overall,
The last one was decent.
I like the last one in theaters. I'm gonna rewatch it. I'm finally done on Tuesday with the Star Wars.
Okay.
So the next project, and I'm gonna do one episode a day, is the Arrowverse rewatch, where
yes.
now that's massive.
That's a massive commitment because there's so many shows now.
Because of that crossover. Yeah, like it starts off with the Fleischer Superman cartoons, then it goes to Wonder Woman season 1, then it jumps to the Batman 66 show, then it goes to Wonder Woman.
But that's not Arrowverse. That's DC verse. You're doing everything.
Yeah, it's like everything's connected. Even like because Ezra Miller.
Oh, technically, yeah, you're right. Technically,
the crossover connected everything. But you got Birds of Prey, you got Flash, you got Green Hornet. Because Green Hornet crossed over with Batman in the 60s. So you got to watch Green Hornet.
movie?
No, the TV series of Bruce Lee.
Okay.
Then you got Doom Patrol's in it, Stargirl's in it. It's every Constantine, Lucifer. It's everything. So I'm going to do it all. And I'm going to see. It's probably going to take me 2 to 3 years, but I'm excited.
This quarantine shit. You might do it in 3 months.
You don't know. I tried to watch Little Bit Titans. I watched 2 episodes. I'm going to save it for when I do this rewatch. Dude, that's a bad show. I don't know if it gets better.
But he don't like Titans, baby.
You like it?
We watched Titans. We did Titans. It was a mixed bag. Like, I liked some things in season 1, and I thought they did a decent course correction in season 2. But then the stuff that I was mad about, they continued to kind of do it or resurface. Like not more so visual stuff. It was more so a character trope kept happening. Specifically with Dick Grayson, and it was kind of like the same thing they did with Oliver. Like, you watched a few seasons of Arrow, right? So
yeah, I'm up to the second to last season. I mean, I jumped ahead to watch the crossovers, but
okay, got you.
Yeah, but I'm up to right around. I'm right up to Elseworlds on Arrow.
Okay, cool. So like a recurring trope with Oliver throughout the show was when he would just constantly like. Everybody pretty much has this in their personality that if you tell us the truth, it's easier to kind of work with it. But they always go under the thing of I lied to protect you. I lied to protect you. Like they just repeat it so much. They beat it up so much. So that kind of happens with Dick in season 1, where he's kind of like not divulging information to the younger Titans because of the past stuff that he's dealing with or the current, villain. And then in season 2, they bring in Deathstroke. I know you saw Deathstroke was going to be.
I saw him because I have the DVD. I have the Blu-ray set. So
yeah, so they connected the Deathstroke connection to the past Teen Titans and the current Teen Titans that's working together. And because he kept keeping the kids at bay, like not and kept lying, it was just like the same thing. So it was just kind of like when you're going through almost the whole season of that, and he's still kind of like Robin. He's not like Nightwing or whatever. And I'm just like, I don't want to watch him do the same shit again. But like action stuff, I really liked. I get they were kind of like some episodes had better visual effects than others. I don't gauge it too hard, but I think they spent a decent amount of money on it where it looked kind of cool. And I thought some of the other characters were cool that they introduced, or the cities, or just like the whole building of that world. And I was usually pretty happy with like fight scenes and stuff like that. But the character choices, I thought sometimes the tone of things were kind of like dumb.
Yeah.
Like him not having a sense of humor is just like Dick has never been this dark and brooding. And the guy who they casted for Bruce Wayne was just like, why did they pick fucking Jorah Mormont from Game of Thrones? Like,
I know, yeah, that's the other thing.
On the table, it was so some of those things were stupid. So it was a mixed bag.
My thing, I'm 2 episodes in, and Starfire is killing motherfuckers and being this hooker. I don't know if you ever read the comic book of Have you ever read the comic book origin of Starfire?
I've never read comic books. I always watch TV shows in the movie.
All right.
Lazy.
Well,
lazy.
Did you ever see Frozen?
Yeah, I saw Frozen.
Okay, imagine if Frozen. Remember Elsa turns evil?
Yeah.
And Anna's like, you're still. She kind of. Imagine if Elsa took over the kingdom, killed everybody, and then sold that sister into slavery. That's the origin of Starfire. Like her sister, like it's basically they're like best friends. She still believes in her sister, but her sister turns super evil. Like to me, it's like if I had that property and I'm an executive at Warner Bros. Like we need to make a Starfire movie. We need to make a Batman and Robin movie. Then we can do the Teen Titans because we could basically do a live action Frozen, but like a superhero version of Frozen. With 2 sisters. But the other, what if the sister actually goes fucking evil? Like that's a cool story.
Yeah.
And like then like, you know, how do we now Robin, he's dealing with street crime and he's dealing with like Two-Face and Joker. And all of a sudden he's got some alien princess that's in love with him. And now Raven shows up and Beast Boy and Cyborg, and he's like, Batman, I don't need you. And like he's doing things like Batman's like, yo, you're doing shit that I couldn't even dream of. You got alien princesses and alien kingdoms.
Yeah, a whole team of fun.
Like it's like you can do an escalation, like almost like, you know, Endgame was to like, you know, a regular Avengers. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, when you watch, like, I think I'm gonna do the movie rewatch of all the movies of MCU. I think that's gonna be my big thing if I'm gonna try to conquer any one of those things. But when you watch the Marvel stuff and then you compare it to DC, it's like, man, they're so organized and they just had their plan and they execute their plan and they put so much in each movie. They make it its own thing, but then they do such a great job of making it connect to the bigger thing. And when you get to Endgame, like, I appreciate it so much because then I'm just reflecting like, damn, I was really invested in this over 10 years, waiting to that moment. And then they hit that moment and they knocked it out the park, bro. You know what I'm saying? So I like watching it again when I'm going to do this real, like, super rewatch now and just kind of like see how technology was, how it was, and just the character arcs and, you know, watching it with a grown-up mind as opposed to a young kid brain, teenager brain or whatever. I'm looking forward to it because I really just, I appreciate it for that second time that I just watched it. So I know when I get to that third one, it's amazing. And then you just feel like, damn, DCU, EU is just such a shit show. But Young Justice, they got right. Young Justice is
I gotta watch
the
that.
most proudest piece of work that they've done on the animation tip since Justice League.
I gotta see that because I love Justice League. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me ask you a question. Shoot, I want to ask you about DC, Marvel.
Whatever you want, man.
Oh, but here's my thing about DC. This is my thing about DC. It's like, inherently, for like 50, 60 years, the DC characters are pretty fucking corny. Like, they can have edges. Batman can have an edge. Joker can have an edge. Right. But they're kind of wholesome. They're kind of like...
Green Lantern's edgy.
What?
The certain Green Lanterns, they're pretty edgy.
Yeah, but still, like, there's a wholesomeness to those characters. Like, no, don't get, like, Green Lantern could deal with people cursing and stuff, but at the end of the day, Green Lantern, he's a hero. Aquaman's a hero. So when you add this edge to characters, you never really had an edge, whether it's Starfire or Bat, or Robin. You have them cursing, or Hawk and Dove. You have them cursing.
Yeah, who the fuck is Hawk and Dove, bro?
They're actually two guys. Well, the two guys, they were brothers the first run around. Then
that was so corny. Yeah, when they do the Hawk and Dove backstory, that was like one of the corniest episodes.
Oh, Hawk and Dove is no Hawk and Dove. I first of all, I'm like, wow, they nailed the costume, but why do they have these two fucking and cursing? I don't understand how you could.
Yeah, they chose some jock guy, but I mean the Dove chick is hot. And,
yeah. She's hot. But when you take these characters who are like very wholesome and you try to have them curse and all this shit. You know, Captain America every now and then says America's ass, but Captain America's not like, yo, fuck bitches in the clit, they claim. Like, he would never do that. Like, and they have Robin doing that. And it's like, but that's not Robin.
It's not Robin. But MCU, they stick to their character because, you know, like Thor, like, here we go, perfect. Thor is one of the best cases of course correction that they did for his character. Because you watch, like, that first Thor movie, he was very serious. He even had blonde eyebrows and his hair was different. And they had him like this. And this, they played up to that part. And then, like, but he's more sillier in the comic books and in the animation, I think, right? And then they kind of like shifted it once he got with the Avengers to make him a little more sillier and loosen up the brooding warrior guy. And that was such a great thing because by the time you get to Avengers Endgame, outside of when he's getting ready for a fight, that's the only time he really turns on his serious mode. He's jokes galore. Like Christian Hemsworth, like I give props to Hemsworth because he was delivering the punchlines. Like he's a funny character. Thor's not really that great if he's a serious character. He's not interesting.
No, he's not. I mean, I tried to read those comics. I've almost fallen into a coma. And when they said they're making a Thor movie, I'm like, look, I like Thor just because how he looks. I like him on the Avengers. But, like, how the fuck are you going to make a Thor movie? And they nailed it. That's my thing with Disney. It's like they tweak their characters if they have to, but they don't betray the characters, which I feel like, you know, Warner Brothers owns DC. We were talking about this on my Disney podcast. When I was a kid, Bugs Bunny was the shit. Everybody loved Bugs Bunny. We all grew up on Bugs Bunny. He inspired a lot of my humor, and I think he inspired a lot of other comedians. I know Jerry Seinfeld was inspired by Bugs Bunny.
Yeah, Bugs Bunny's a genius.
Bugs Bunny's fallen the fuck off. When have you ever seen anything good with Bugs Bunny in the last 20 years?
After
Space Jam. Well, that was almost 30 years ago now.
It's 20, yeah. I mean, they got that Space Jam 2 coming in 2021 if we can go to the movies. So that's that's LeBron is putting the Bugs Bunny comeback tour on.
I know, but it's like
one other movie right after the Space Jam, and that didn't really do too well. And
that didn't do too well. They don't really take care of their characters. Warner Brothers DC. They kind of like. I want to be surprised if Space Jam 2 doesn't happen. Like, let's just say I don't know, LeBron gets corona and drops dead, God forbid. But like, if Space Jam 2 doesn't happen, I can see them doing like an R-rated Bugs Bunny movie. He's like, yo, fuck bitches, fuck this shit, you know.
All right, what's up, Doc?
What's up, Doc? What's up? You popping off and like he's jerking off and shit. People, you know what I mean? Like, this is an edgy Bugs Bunny. Like, I don't know. I can see that because Warner Brothers is like fucking lost, but it is what it is.
So are we saying that if Disney had bought DC, it would be like a whole other game? Like DC's stuff would be maybe up to par the way Marvel, but they'll never own both of them, right? They would. They're too.
I think now they could. I mean,
so where's Nickelodeon fall under?
Viacom.
Was Viacom under Universal?
No, Viacom's is Viacom. Viacom is an evil corporation. They own MTV, CBS.
Gotcha.
Here's the thing with Warner Brothers and DC. AT&T now owns Warner Brothers and DC. AT&T kind of just sees these characters as things that they can invest in. They don't give a shit about comic books. They don't give a shit about this, that, and the third.
Right.
They don't give a shit about legacy. If AT&T, it's a bottom line company. If AT&T thinks, you know what, if we make a flat sum and sell these DC characters to Disney, because Disney, you could charge a lavish rate to Disney, and I think Disney will pony up, because just imagine in Avengers 5, the fucking Justice League jumps through a portal, and then it's X-Men versus Avengers versus Teen Titans versus Justice League on the big screen. The money is Superman and Iron Man. You could get fucking
Robert Downey Jr. Has ever happened before, like the Justice League versus the Avengers thing? Have they actually
comic books?
Like, so the partner comic book companies decided, well, we're going to creatively work together and do a storyline and just a one-off thing where they actually fight each other, like somehow.
They did comic books like that a lot in the 90s and in the 70s. They did a few.
And they were all good, usually?
Some of them were better than Spider-Man Superman is amazing. It's really good. Okay. Some of them were like Batman Cap was good because that took place in the 40s.
That's his equivalent? They think Cap is the Batman?
Oh, they also had Batman Punisher. Batman also fought Spider-Man. He fought Daredevil. He's fought a lot of them.
Batman usually win?
They make it a tie with Batman and Captain America.
It was tied. You can't beat Bruce Wayne. You always it's gonna be a draw. Batman figures it out.
Yeah, but if you like, I'll never forget the cover of Justice League Avengers 4 is Superman when Yomer and Cap shield, and he's fighting like some giant monster, and I think that's where they got the idea of Cap with the hammer from Superman picking it up in the comic.
Oh, okay.
But can you imagine Superman picking up that and the shield and flying towards Thanos? The place would go bananas.
Yeah. That movie made $2 billion if you've seen Superman fight Galactus along with
Let me tell you something. Superman and Batman show up in an Avengers movie.
Darkseid together,
they fight Darkseid and Thanos. Yeah.
And a third one or whatever.
That movie's making $2 billion that Thursday night.
Right.
You know.
But then how do you top that? That's the thing. You have to. You get like 10 years of building up to that, I guess.
You gotta spend time building up to DC. But then I would keep, if Disney ever did buy DC, I'd have it cross over like a portal opened, and they had the But then I would be like, okay, DC's here, Marvel's here, and every 10 years the dimensions can clash. But I would keep it very separate because.
Yeah.
I mean. I guess you could combine both universes and have the Avengers be like Superman, Cap, Iron Man, Batman, Harley Quinn, Deadpool. I mean, I don't know. But
the thing with DC is that they rely more on fictional cities. Marvel doesn't do fictional cities like that.
Well, the cool thing is Gotham. Gotham is where Westchester is in our.
Really?
Yeah, that's what I found out.
I thought it was near Chicago. No?
No, in the Justice League Avengers comic, they reveal there's no Westchester, upstate New York in DC. That's all Gotham.
But Gotham never looked like Westchester, does it?
No, Westchester doesn't exist. Upstate New York doesn't exist. It's a whole other city. So like there's farmland or wineries or any of that or Hicks. It's just another city.
It's just another metropolis-looking city.
Yeah, just another New York, because that's what we need. 2 New Yorks.
Right.
So
And then
maybe Emilio can
like,
expand.
Bloodhaven like reminds me of Jersey.
Yeah, but I think Bloodhaven is like where Riverdale in the Bronx is supposed to be or some shit.
Nah, that would be amazing. But like, yeah,
But
will
I
they
don't
humble
know.
themselves to do that with DC? Like, I mean, Disney will probably make the business move because Disney is all about legacy. That's what they get right.
Yeah.
Because they care so much. They're built on legacy.
I mean, if I were in charge of AT&T, I wouldn't. But I've heard like rumblings within AT&T that like, okay, they don't think a lot of these characters are valuable, which I think is fucking stupid. I think
They're sitting on gold mines. They just don't know how to do it.
Dude, you could if Marvel can make $1 bazillion with Guardians of the Galaxy, DC has like 20 titles. Swamp Thing. If Swamp Thing alone, if you can make a new there's so much to pull from with Swamp Thing. There's so much to pull from Animal Man. And I'm pulling up really obscure characters, but this is how obscure fucking Guardians of the Galaxy is. If Eternals makes money, you know how deep for cut Eternals is? I don't even know what the fuck Eternals is. I tried to read it as a kid. Dude, if Eternals makes money, and you're telling me that like some executive signal was like Challengers of the Unknown would never work, I'd be like, you're out of your fucking mind. Get the fuck out of the office. Because
DC wins the character competition in terms of like better property, more successful, like more people, more things that the average person knows. Like DC has always beaten Marvel in those comic books, right? Kind of.
Well, yeah, back in the day, more people knew Green Lantern.
Right.
When I was a little kid, I'll remember very distinctly when I was a little kid, the Superpower toys came out, and I knew that my mom knew all the names of everybody, and that was a DC line, and I knew all the characters. When the Marvel ones came out, I didn't know. I knew Spider-Man, but I assumed Magneto was an enemy of Iron Man because of the magnetism thing when I bought the figure. And I had to do research. But like when I got a Joker figure, I knew like I was born with this knowledge that he fights Batman. So they were more well known in the 80s. I don't know about now.
Well, 90s, they had the luxury of doing the animated shows.
Yes.
And those blew up. So did Batman, Superman, and Justice. So they just expanded. And that, well, Marvel had X-Men, Spider-Man, so Iron Man. They had a couple of those things. I mean, they were all equally popular, I would say. Yeah. But they that was their big chance to expand their world because they had those kids watching stuff instead of reading.
Yeah. Nick, where can people find you on social media?
So if they want to follow me, keep up with what I'm doing, you can follow me at Nick of Comedy, NICKOF Comedy, one word, on Instagram. You can type that in Facebook and find me. Type that on Twitter, anything, pretty much Nick of Comedy.
Okay. And what are you going to be watching now? Are you going to be watching some more Marvel stuff? Are you going to start watching the Netflix stuff? What are you going to be doing?
So yeah, me and my lady, we decided we're going to do the rewatch of all the Marvel movies. Start off with. I'm gonna start off with the last scene in Incredible Hulk. I don't think I want to watch the movie again with Ed Norton, but I might just watch the cameo scene. It's not bad. It's not bad. It was cool, but I watched that scene, then go into Iron Man, and then do the rewatch of the movies. We're watching Ozark. We're gonna start that, the season 3.
Does that get better? Because I'm 4 episodes into season 1, and I'm like,
it's a slow burn. You gotta be patient.
Okay.
You gotta be patient.
I'll try to get back into it.
Yeah. Just stay with it. It gets better every season. Season 2 is really good. It's just that kind of a show. So yeah, we're gonna do the Marvel rewatch, the MCU rewatch. We're doing Ozark, and then we're gonna start probably another show. I think I might want to do one of those classic sitcoms that everybody was bragging about that I never saw. So
which one?
Awesome. The Wire or Breaking Bad.
Okay, but what sitcom?
Maybe The Sopranos.
Okay. But it's not a sitcom. I'm asking what sitcom.
Sitcom. If I can find it, I think I want to do a Living Single rewatch. So
that's a good one. I think it's on Hulu.
It's on Hulu, I think. Yeah. So I was reading and seeing a couple interviews from Comedy Hype, and they had the actor T.C. Carson on. He was the one that played Kyle Barker. I don't know if you're familiar. And they were basically, there's been a lot of the stir up because when Swimmer made that comment of saying, they should like do like an all black Friends, everybody was like, motherfucker, that was Living Single. And like Living Single and Friends were owned by Warner Brothers. They were owned by the same property. Living Single was made a year before. And if you really watch the shows, it's like the premise is pretty damn near similar. Like 5 or 6 people living in the same building in New York City, all single and trying to, find love and whatever in their thing. And, living single, he just talked about how they were so much more underpaid than the Friends cast. They never got that same kind of promotion. Their nights got moved around.
They did.
They were doing good as far as their viewership, their demo, but they never really got a chance to cross over like that. So the reason why they got canceled was really like shady and not really justified when they were like still in their stride, like it hadn't tailed off. And then the actor TC talked about how he got fired after season 4 because they felt like he had an influence on the other cast when he addressed them about things about the show creatively or just him standing up for himself. Like he said he got blackballed because they kind of talked shady on him. So it made me go like, damn, like, I didn't watch Living Single in real time like that. I was more of a Friends person because when I was a little bit older and watching comedies, me and my mom would watch Friends. But my mom was a big Living Single watcher. So I'm going to do Living Single, I think.
Well, I watched Living Single because it was on after The Simpsons. They had a good Thursday nights. It was like Simpsons, Martin, Living Single. Okay. And then they moved Simpsons off Thursdays, and I was done with Thursdays after that. I was like, all right, and the first season was good. And I also watched it because Tootie from Facts of Life is Kim Fields is in it. So I had to follow because I'm a big Facts of Life person. I always have this idea of Golden Girls. They ever want to reboot Golden Girls, get the 4 chicks from Facts of Life because now they're at that age. Have them go into the house, and now it's about them in old age. But they could do that shit with the Living Single women. They could have do a reboot have now these women are now in Florida, old as shit, or Chicago, what have you, old as shit, living together.
Modernize it. You can do a Golden Girls reboot for sure.
Yeah, but it'd be funny to have women from a previous sitcom come back.
Yeah, the Facts of Life one has a lot of weight with that one because people coming from that generation watch those shows were out at the same time, and now this goes at the age where they could be old.
Yeah, that'd be cool because we saw them as kids, and now you're gonna come back. You see them as women entering their 60s. I think that'd be really cool.
Maybe you should get a hold of Kim Fields on social media and pitch it to her.
But the only problem is with that is that I think that everyone's super religious on that cast except for Kim Fields, so you really couldn't be doing. I think every episode would be like, we all praise Jesus, and Kim Fields gets arrested. No, I'm fucking with you. We all go to church.
You want to turn up? No, I feel you. So I think we want to try. I want to try watching Living Single just to kind of gauge that feel that everybody else had because like a lot of people love that show and it just and then like it speaks to a bigger point about the whole thing with black shows building up networks and then getting canceled once they kind of like got it to a place where they feel like the execs want to do the kind of stuff they really want to do. But when it comes like the networks like WB and Fox, it was black talent in shows for the most part. Simpsons, there's some exceptions are there, but a lot of black shows built those networks up. And
I'm glad you brought this shit up because I really feel like Friends was the death knell for black sitcoms on network television. Like you can look back at the 70s. You had Good Times on CBS. You had The Jeffersons on CBS. You can look back, different strokes. Sanford and Son. And you can say even Facts of Life. You can say what you want about Facts of Life, but like there was a black character being represented. There was a black woman being represented as, someone who had a really good job. I'm assuming Tootie got a good job. Tootie did something.
They went to a good school.
But Tootie wasn't like getting shot in the street and shit. Tootie like had then you had the Cosby Show on Channel 4. And
NBC, same network. World.
You had a lot of shows where there were black actors as the lead, or black actors, or black cast, and they were part of my viewing habit. Like I would watch Cosby Show. I would watch Living Single. I would watch Martin. It was just it's there. It's part of your world. It's as equal as it's equal to Married with Children. It's equal to Cheers or what have you, or Amen 227. You know what I'm saying? And then when Friends came along, everything kind of became a Friends clone, and you saw like no black shows on network television. Only the WB.
WBUPN in the late 90s was pretty much where those shows were thriving. So it's like, and they were building up their networks, and when you learn about affiliates and all that other shit, we like to do the research, so we kind of know about that stuff. But what people don't know is that they don't do sound scan ratings in the projects. So black shows where, yes, we consume and watch a lot of television, but we still only make up like 10 to 12% of the country. So when there's strong black viewership on the show, but then you're not really counting the ratings from projects and hoods or whatever, which accounts for a decent amount of people in any community for, just the reason where that's where some black people reside. There's like a weird thing against like saying your numbers aren't justifiable or it's not worth the money that we're spending on the show when they're underserved anyway. So,
but I also feel like so this is gonna be weird to say, but I'm gonna say it. Without black shows being part of a network lineup, without so for example, on a Thursday night, I would see Cosby Show, Different Strokes, and they were not shy about telling, people about what life is for black people, right? So I was a little kid, I'm getting educated in a point of view that I wouldn't normally get educated while I'm waiting for Friends, my parents waiting for 2020 and what have you.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like with kids that were born in the mid 90s and born in 2000s, not seeing that, there's a disconnect with white and black kids. I feel personally, I feel like there's not
I mean, the 2000s had like a couple shows. There was Girlfriends. There was Bernie Mac.
I know, but like young white kids weren't watching that. Like
no, they weren't watching it. No. That was America. Were still watching the shows as collectively. Like people were still at home. Like that family thing, you coming home. Yeah, that was still there through like the mid to late 90s.
Yeah, but like they never, I think families probably still get together and watch Modern Family, or they'll get together and watch The Office back in. I'm talking about like
before 10 years social media and internet really changed the game, and just people did not like sit as
now people are more. But I also feel like that takes away from people understanding about different cultures because you're not seeing it.
Yeah.
You're only being shown what you want to see. You're not being exposed to different things. And I kind of feel like Friends and Seinfeld. It's the Jews. I blame the Jews.
It's also cable too, because cable, changed the whole game with, watching more adult content. Maybe I don't want to do this family shit. I want to see some motherfuckers fucking. I want to see some cussing. I want to see some gang shit. Network television ain't gonna show that. But then at the same time, it's like when there's more channels, more competition, people's eyeballs are like, Timmy gonna watch this show. Granny wants to watch this show. Dad and mom want to watch, so we got options and we divide.
I still watch. I don't know if you get this in LA, but I canceled my cable, so I use the digital antenna. I get antenna TV, and at 5 o'clock they have good times and Give Me a Break. And I'll tell you, I didn't realize how talented Nell Carter was until I started rewatching Give Me a Break. She's a really good singer. You remember Nell Carter? Do you know what I'm talking about?
Nah, it's a little before me. What show was she on? She was on Give Me a Break?
Give Me a Break. She sings sometimes. I've seen Different Strokes
and Sanford and those shows, but I never saw that one.
Okay. Well, but like every now and then she'll get sad and she sings on the show. And when she sings, like some guy, he's a player. So like the last episode I saw yesterday, this guy was like a player. Yeah. And he's like, I'm not playing. I'm with you now. You're my girl. And she's kind of fat, right? And then he leaves her for like a hot chick. And she's like devastated. And she goes to the piano and she sings. And I was like, watching this, like, holy fucking shit. How the fuck did she not have like a record contract? How the fuck was she not singing on arenas? Like this is just some dopey 80s sitcom. She sits down at the piano, starts singing, kills it. I don't even remember what the song was. It was like this song about, getting your heart broken. She's just as good as like so many soul singers. Everybody sleeps on her. But you should check it out. Give Me a Break.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, she's a good. At least Google the clips where she sings. You're gonna be like, holy shit.
I watched I YouTube it for sure. I was gonna ask you, right? So, I know you're a little older than me, and you watch a lot of television coming up. Mm-hmm. Like, I appreciate you just have such a wealth of stuff in your library mind space. You know what I mean? You consume a bunch of different shows. I've been, I have my group that I do improv and sketch with out in LA. Shout out to Cornbread Kitchen, and so the last like year and some change, I still do stand up, but I definitely was working a lot on our show that we had at UCB where we're doing a lot of sketches and whatever. So I got consumed in the sketch world, and I've been doing a lot of like watching the old stuff. And my boy put me onto a book about Homie Don't Play That, which is like a book talking about the ins and outs of the living color. And now I finished that book, which was great. If you want, I'll send it to you. But now I'm doing a book on the history of SNL. And growing up, I think I used to watch SNL a little bit. I was like the late 90s, early 2000s run where I was watching it, on weekends with my family. Mm-hmm. And then get into comedy. You kind of like know people who either got hired on SNL or on the show or whatever. And sometimes you watch for the guest you want. Eddie came back, killed that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And SNL has its legacy, whether you like it or not, whatever era. It's amazing that it's around 40 plus years, right?
Yeah.
So when you were watching it as a kid, what was your era of watching SNL?
The late '80s, very early '90s. Mike Myers, Adam
Okay.
Sandler,
Okay.
uh, David Spade, Norm Macdonald.
Carvey,
I'll
Phil
tell
Hartman,
you.
right?
I'm sorry.
Dana Carvey, Phil Hartman.
Dana
Those
Carvey, Phil Hartman, yeah, and then
right.
that was the best era. Everybody says the best era of Silent Lives when you're a kid. No,
Yeah.
this legit was the best era. I'll tell you what ruined that show for me was In Living Color.
Mm.
In Living Color, those first two seasons were better than anything Silent Live has ever produced. I don't
Even
give a
during that
fuck.
run.
Even during that run, they assembled such a good cast. They were so ahead of their time. You
Right.
watching those sketches now, and with Men on Film, they are saying shit that
Yeah.
didn't. They're saying like kiki and catchphrases, and they're saying
Yeah. Yeah.
shit that people didn't start saying until 20 years later, 2010, 2011, using it in the vernacular. That show is so fucking good. Saturday Night Live is so fucking lucky that Fox did not get behind Keenan Ivory Wayne's 1,010%. Be like, you're our new SNL.
Wow.
We have your back. Do whatever the fuck you want. We're gonna pay Jim Carrey what the fuck he wants to keep him on here. They're so
Yeah.
lucky. We're gonna go. Like, I don't know if you don't know a lot about wrestling. They did WWE versus WCW. I'm convinced that if they got behind Keenan Ivory Wayne's, they got behind Damon
Yeah.
Wayans, they got behind Paul Mooney, they got behind Robert Schimmel, and said, "We want to take out Saturday Night Live." I don't think Saturday Night Live would be on the air right now.
Wow. That's crazy.
Um,
So, all right, now that's cool. I love that you got a really strong like opinion about that, right? So,
mhm.
I started watching some Mad TV because
Mad
I
TV,
had
I never was a fan of.
you didn't get into it like that. I used to watch some. I like Ari Spears a lot. Like he was
Mhm.
he was my favorite guy to watch
Yeah.
on that show. Like, then obviously like I'm watching the Chappelle Twain award thing on
Oh,
Netflix.
yeah, that was
And
another.
obviously I'm remembering Chappelle's show and how just for 2 years damn near like it picked up the baton for Living Color. And the Chris Rock show I've been watching. I didn't watch that when I was little because it was too
I've never
adult.
seen it because HBO.
It's so fucking good, bro. You should
I gotta
watch
check
the
it out.
Chris Rock show.
Is
Check
it
it
on
out.
HBO right now?
They don't have they have a lot of stuff on YouTube. You can watch like some skits. They do have some full episodes, but you should. I think you could get enough out of it if you watch all the best of and the clips that he was in some of the episodes that he put out.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
it's So now I was talking. I had a podcast where I did like my favorite sketch actors and actresses and whatever. We just talking sketch shop. So this decade, what sketch shows do you think was good this decade?
Sorry?
In the 2010s, like this past decade, what sketch shows were good to you? Like, I've been trying to watch some good ones. I watched these new ones that have been on Netflix and HBO because I'm just trying to really support and consume different. So just kind of seeing what people are like saying is good.
Man, I
Engaging
don't.
for myself because my group I feel like is really talented,
Mhm.
and we're kind of like feeling like, yo, we feel like we got something special compared to
You
what's
know,
out there. But
I've tried to watch some sketch shows, and I feel like Chappelle has set the bar so high that I don't think anybody really reached it yet. I like some stuff. I like some sketches. There is one. Name some that you like from that past. I know I forgot the name, but I know I'm gonna remember when you listen.
I didn't watch it in but in context, right? Since when you become a comic, some shows you do follow as a comic, you'll still watch and keep up with. Some stuff you don't, especially more comedy related. We just don't watch the comedies like that. We're like everything anti-comedy once we become comedians, right?
Yeah.
So I in clips watching the YouTube videos of Key and Peele because those sketches, all those sketches that went viral.
That's the best one.
Yeah.
That's
Key
the
and
best
Peele.
one.
I like some of Amy Schumer stuff too, though. I watched some Amy Schumer some of her sketches. I like them.
I like it, but
I don't watch the whole episode, so I don't know how good the episodes were in terms of the batting average of like how many out of the 5 or 4 sketches she would do, how many were good. But the sketches I watched were good.
I'll be real with you. I feel like everything after Chappelle's show is Comedy Central trying to bring back Chappelle's show. They got close. The closest they got was Key and Peele, but I don't think they ever really outdid Chappelle's show. I think they're going to keep trying, although But I'll tell you the one thing. A lot of comedians, their dream is to be on Saturday Night Live. That was never my dream. I never wanted to be in that show. I still don't want to be on that show. Don't get me wrong. If I like money. If they they're not gonna ask me.
Hire you to write or something.
If they ask me to work on the show, I'd work on it. But it's not been on my dream. My dream, since the Living Color, well, one of my dreams. I have a lot of dreams. But one of my dream was, and when I saw Living Color, is I want to have a show like that, and I want that show to take out Saturday Night Live. That was that.
You want to build a show to take out. I don't think SNL can get taken down, man. They've outlasted everything.
I think they.
Machine.
Well, I think Corona's going to take it out by killing the whole crew. But
like that. Yo, but I'm gonna send you that book though because I'm listening.
You know
to
what?
the book.
Here's the other thing too. I don't know how you feel, but the more I look into Lorne Michaels, I don't really want to fuck with that guy. I don't know.
Hold on
You
a
get
second.
real nervous when I said that? You get
No. My girl is asking me something.
Okay, he's talking to his girl. You know how it is, guys. All right. You know how it be. Sorry.
Sorry, I'm back.
I'm making sure there's no dead air. That's all.
No. So no, what I've been learning about him in the book, because I didn't know he was a writer. I didn't know he worked and did comedy. I just thought he was always like a producer, an older producer who's just been the Lorne Michaels, the Yoda of everything. But learning that he was a writer and how he just kind of had these ideas he wanted to do and how he was like just networking has been coming up, and just figuring out how that show came together and how it managed to stay on. Like, I got to give that man the respect. He has a certain way he likes to do things, whether it was good or bad to the talent that he's had. He just has a sharp sense of just like that's the gun that he's sticking to. Like,
yeah, I know. No, that show.
He's unwavering.
It's going to be interesting to see what happens if Corona takes him. No, it's going to be interesting to see what happens if he were ever to step down. I do feel, though, that Saturday Night Live, I don't feel like it's on the pulse of how people really feel, how people really talk. I feel that Living Color I don't think Living Color didn't just get how the culture was in 1990. Living Color got how the culture was in 2006. Like, that's how ahead of its time that show was.
And then Chappelle Show came out, and then
that got good culture. But In Living Color was so of the time of the culture. And I feel like there's a lot of funny things on Saturday Night Live, but I feel like it's done in a very old school way. And I feel like there's a better way to do a show like Saturday Night Live. And when I still watch the reruns of Living Color, it doesn't feel like dated. It feels like raw. And I feel like that's what comedy needs to be. It needs to be raw, especially now. Because it is going to be dangerous, because we're all going to die because we congregated near each other to do comedy. Comedy needs to feel dangerous, like an outlaw. It doesn't need to feel like this is, sometimes like we're a bunch of rich white people and this is our show or we make fun of you. And Living Color was like, we're with you. We're struggling just like you are. Let's put on some sketches to make you laugh. Here's some music you guys like,
Facts. The dancing, no, for sure. There was ahead of the time. I'll send you that book if you want to listen to the audio book of it. It's amazing.
Yeah, definitely.
It'll change your mind about all this shit because you just get all the behind the scenes tea that was just taking place.
I'm sure Paul Mooney was a fucking. I mean,
they mentioned him. He got a good amount of notice in the book because I think he was a writer on like the first or second season. So he, when they get to those seasons, they cover like Mooney's involvement.
It's so funny to me that I spent so much time with Paul Mooney. And he never even know. I probably spent more time with Paul Mooney than I have any other headliner on the planet. And he never even knew I did stand up. One time I said it to him, and he just started ranting about The Rock. And I
hilarious.
Just was like,
yo, hot take. Let me know if you agree.
Mm-hmm.
The Rock is probably one of the best entertainers, right?
Mm-hmm.
Who was actually, in my opinion, doing stand up. But I think if he chose to do stand up, he'd be really fucking funny. Was he not doing stand-up, those raw monologues every week he'd come out doing like 10 minutes, 15 minutes?
Yeah, no, that he was basically
the other day. He was so fucking funny.
He was doing. I mean, no one was doing the shit he was doing, and it
He
was like
sets in an arena.
It was like stand-up. Yeah. I mean, before that, I never fell on the floor laughing watching wrestling. And thing about it is like
Stone Cold was the funniest to me.
But the thing about The Rock was, even if he was being silly, he was still being serious. Like, if Hulk Hogan started cracking jokes, we all would have been like, why is this dude cracking jokes? Yeah, but The Rock was still, like, looking at you like, I'm going to fuck you up. And he was still making jokes while looking at the guy like he was going to fuck him up. And he had you on the floor. Yeah. Or, what was the one? He would do impressions of people. It was funny.
When his big like he was doing impressions, he was doing voices, he was snapping on people when he was telling jokes. Like, I'm watching raw clips like every now and then. I'm like, this guy was doing this in a fucking arena, and he's not working out. He didn't work. He had to memorize this shit.
Yeah, no, he had some. I listened to podcasts with the guys who wrote for him, And they're the
okay.
most unfunny. Well, no, I don't think they really wrote for him. I think they probably said to him tonight, "You're gonna like make fun of Triple H," and then
Yeah.
he went with it. I don't think they really gave him anything. I think they just said to him, "You got to make fun of Triple H. Maybe point out he has a big nose and hype up the match on Sunday," and then he just went. And I think that's all you need to. Some people are real pros. You just need to give them that shit and just go.
Yeah, no. I was just watching him do an IG live the other day, and then he was telling stories, and I was just like, yeah, man, he's amazing.
He
definitely does
broke
good
the mold
comedy.
before him. Like, if you were a wrestler and you're like, yo, I think I want to. It doesn't matter what wrestler you were. If you were a wrestler and you told some agent or manager, yeah, I think I'm going to get out of wrestling and I want to have my own tequila line and I want to reboot Jumanji and I want to reboot fucking Fast and the Furious and G.I. Joe and
Yeah.
maybe, I don't know, have a couple of TV shows on HBO. They look at you like, bitch, you a wrestler. What the fuck? You lucky we get you a stuntman job. Who the fuck wants to see a wrestler? Dude, he broke the mold. He changed everything. You
Did you
can't deny.
How was
What?
this WrestleMania? Like, I know I read some of the comments from everybody who was tuning in. Like, did they pull it off, or is it they should have never did that in the first place?
They pulled it off. You know why? Because they made some matches into sketches and cinematic. They had like Undertaker fight in a real graveyard, and they filmed it like a movie. So they pulled it off. The stuff in the ring is weird. It's like stand up. You need a crowd. I know you're telling me you're fucking with the empty room stand up. Me personally, I need a crowd. Otherwise, it just.
You gotta do the Zoom, man. Zooms are fun. I'll tell you why.
I think this is fun. What we're doing.
No, for sure. I'm happy to fucking talk to you, man. It's been forever.
Mm-hmm.
No, so I was doing the show with Vince Royale and his Zoom, right?
Mm-hmm.
And what he does is he sets up. He has like comics he's gonna have talk to. Yeah, I was in there with Carabano.
Okay.
So yeah, like 3 other comics, and he says, if you want to check us out, DM me, and he sends his invite and password, right? So in the show, it's like us. It's like 4 of us he's gonna talk to, and he has like maybe 8 to 10 at any given point of people just tuning in just to watch us, right? So they're hearing us converse and talk to each other, and he's asking me questions. We talk about gigs, whatever, some funny stories. What you doing to keep up? And,
yeah, talk. See, that's good. That's talking. Yeah.
Right. So we slide in some of our jokes if the setup is where if it makes sense to just
like Comics Unleashed almost.
Basically, we're doing all Comics Unleashed on Zoom.
Mm-hmm.
But one of his fans at the end were like telling me he was telling everybody in the Zoom that he lost his wife in December. He's been he lives in Artesia, California, like an hour outside of LA. He's retired, doesn't go out like that anymore. Can't go out with quarantine. His wife died in December. He says, if it wasn't besides my daughter living in the back house, I wouldn't have anybody to talk to. So I love coming in here, hearing you guys just shoot the shit, and it's a lifesaver for me. You know what I'm saying? Like,
oh well, see, that's dope. But see, I like
that. I'm like, shit. I had to turn off the screen and go like, oh, goddamn, like I'm meaning for stage time and stuff like that, and like this Zoom thing is connection with people. You know what I'm saying?
I like shit
some
like
people
that.
Dozing off. Some people you can see some people dozing off at times. I think my eyes closed for like a sec. But throughout the show, for the most part, it works. Like it really does.
Okay. See, I like shit like that because like I think that works. I think people do want to hear people talk and they want to interact with people, and we're comedians.
I'm not in the living room with a mic doing a set.
Yeah, that to me is like a little suspect. And some comedians are swearing by that, and I'm like, no. You need an audience. This isn't music. Music, if we were musicians, we could jam out right now.
Yeah, absolutely.
Nick, I want to thank you for coming on the show, man. We had a really good talk, and
man.
you're the man. I'm glad. I'll definitely have you back
Absolutely,
when they put us in internment camps because we're all infected and the Chinese government is taking over. We'll talk about how we're going to be doing some shows at the internment camps.
Oh man.
All right, guys, thank you for tuning in tonight. Thank you for listening to Nick Alexander. Please follow him on social media. And tomorrow night, I'm back with Andrew Lee to review SmackDown. Nick, thank you so much.
You got a link? I can post this?
Oh, yeah. I'm going to send you the link. I'm going to send you the audio link and the YouTube link as soon as this goes live. I put this on YouTube.
Okay, cool. Yeah. Can I just do my plugs one more time?
Yeah, do your plugs. I'm sorry.
Yo, follow me at Nick of Comedy, NICKOF Comedy, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, Nick Alexander. Shout outs to Ray Gootz. Thank you for having me, brother.
Thank you for being on it. And guys, tomorrow, Andrew Lee, SmackDown. Thank you again, Nick.
My dog. Peace.
Woo!